Cupid doesn't lie, but you wanna unless you give it a try, give it a try. But you wanna unless you give it a try. Hey, girl, if I tell you I need you, that doesn't mean that I don't care.
What a...
And if I tell
Oh
you
God, it's still going.
I
Okay. Yeah.
don't you think that I will never be there here? Cupid.
Is that a real song? Is that a Drake song?
One of my favorite songs of all time.
Your songs?
Nope.
Who sings them?
112.
Let's let them sing it.
I'm so freaking pissed right now. This is bullshit.
Hello there, villagers. Welcome back to another video here in Stacy's Random POV. And if it's your first time here, hello, it's so good to have you. I hope you decide to stick around. I come in with at least 3, 2, or 4 videos every single week and a whole bunch of shorts. So make sure you have your post notifications on whenever I post either one of those format of videos. So today, before I premiere the video about Tyler Robinson, I decided to bring you guys the reaction of other creators regarding Charlie Kirk's wife and her eulogy funeral. And I thought this would be interesting because I think he wraps everything up together. And then also stick around for my other follow-up video, which is going to be explaining to you what growth spurts are. So I know I talk a little bit about it on the upcoming video, but you know what? I'm not going to get ahead of myself. So basically, in this video, what we're going to be discussing and what we're going to be looking at is what people feel about her eulogy altogether and what stuck out for them. And if you guys have any opinions about her eulogy, I'm here to listen. I'm always in the comments, waiting to make a dialogue with you guys. And I am going to play the full eulogy at the end of the video. So if you stick around all the way there, don't forget to hit that like button. When you like this video, I get to become tapped in with the amount of people that often have this kind of conversations and have their algorithm set on this kind of situations. So check out these upcoming videos, and I can't wait to hear what we got to say about this. And yeah, subscribe so you never miss a video, and I'll see you on my next one.
Why doesn't anybody know anything about Charlie Kirk's parents? I just saw a video about this, and it had literally never occurred to me that no one is talking about. We have not heard from or seen footage of anybody other than Erica and the freaking vice president and Usha anywhere involved in the situation. And every news outlet has the same like little snippets, and it's that his mother was a mental health care provider and his father was an architect and his father was involved in the building of and the design of Trump Tower in New York. I literally like can't even find their names anywhere. They're not really listed. They're like, he has a younger sibling too, and they are just completely out of the picture, which is insane. In a high profile moment like this, it is insane that the only person that we are hearing from or seeing involved in anything is his wife. And that gives you such a huge window into what that family dynamic is like. Like, obviously, I always sort of assumed he had no relationship with his mom because the hatred of women, you know, like it has to come from somewhere, and generally it would come from that space. And maybe that's the case, that none of them talked to him, but it's really strange that someone with 8 million followers that had his body transported on Air Force 2 just like doesn't have a...
Okay, this is a time that I actually don't want to be right. I actually want you guys to say, you're crazy. Okay, there was something about Charlie Kirk's wife's speech that I'm not alone in this, that like, there was something creepy about that speech. There was something weird. Okay, specifically the line where she says, you know, she's telling her daughter what happened to daddy, and she's like, daddy's on a work trip with Jesus to afford your blueberries. And even in the moment, I was like, to afford your blueberries? That is such a weird thing to say. She could have invoked that same emotion just by saying, daddy's on a work trip with Jesus. That would make you go like, oh, sad. But to afford your blueberries, like, what? So I'm not some sort of like historical genius or something like that. I just was Googling, and I was just like, blueberry symbolism, blueberry far right, blueberry Nazi. And unfortunately, I came up with something so horrible. Hang on. Okay, look at this here for a second, and then I'll kind of explain what's going on. Okay, so basically the story is that this group of photographs showed up at the Holocaust Museum, like, not very long ago, in pretty recent history, and like, it was this strange assortment of photographs. One of them, like the one I just showed you, that was labeled, here there are blueberries. And so there was a Pulitzer Prize winning play just here, like I think in 2024, that was talking about this strange group of photographs that was trying to show the Nazis, the SS soldiers, the like doctors and stuff that were there at Auschwitz living this very, very normal life, like almost trying to paint it like, I don't know, the weird juxtaposition of people living a normal life sitting around eating blueberries while there's a concentration camp like right across the fence. I know that this is a reach, and like I said, I really hope that I'm wrong, but something about the Serena Joy vibe of her speech, and if they are trying to throw some sort of a dog whistle or some sort of a foreshadowing symbol, something of that there's going to be a group of people that are eating blueberries in a group that aren't. I don't know. I had never heard of this play before, so you would think if somebody was trying to like put across a message like that, it would be something more obvious, but I don't know. Tell me what you think, and please don't be afraid to tell me that I'm crazy, because like I said, I want to be wrong.
I'm actually legitimately shocked at how far they're going with the social media production of this entire thing. Like, it's the fact that we're posting these things on social media with a perfect manicure. Like, those are the freshest nails that got done before this happened. And we're showing corpse hands of someone who is the love of your life on social media in a carousel. We're in full glam at 10 a.m. on a Wednesday morning. And when she says that she told her children that Charlie's on a business trip with Jesus to be able to pay for their blueberry budget, she literally said that. So now your kids are going to internalize that and say something, you know, like, well, we don't have to eat fruit if daddy will just come home. There's an elevated stage with an entire audience at Air Force 2. We're tagging people in the photos too. Like, we're not just stopping to have somebody take them. We're tagging people in them. Her being mic'd up and then kissing his hands, speaking during that whole time. This is my first social media death, I think.
So Charlie Kirk, the man that just passed away a few days ago, he's already in the ground now? They already done had the funeral. They ain't have to wait on nobody to fly over from Ireland, some damn well to come to see him in the ground. No old ass auntie, uncle had to come from like a nursing home or something. Nobody had to make arrangements to take off of work. Everybody was able to fly down real fast and get him in the ground. That's serious. That's real serious. Then I seen the video of the casket situation. Did he have on gloves? You know what he had? He probably had on gloves, because you know you have to have on gloves. That's what it is. But why did they choose orange? Why did they choose orange gloves? Because his hands look real orangey. Because you always have to wear gloves in the casket. And then the speech. The speech was very, very different from what I expected. Like, your husband passed away tragically, suddenly, a few days ago. She's so well, like, she's not sad at all. It was very much given, like, you taking over a dynasty that you've been wanting all along. I'm just saying, like, it was not giving sad to me. So why are you yelling at the people on the internet trying to make people lose their jobs, okay? Because she's not sad.
You mean to tell me less than 48 hours after your husband's funeral, you and your team set this live TikTok up, this live performance is what I'm going to call it, with the podium and the pictures and the picture of Donald Trump and all that? That was all intentional. Y'all sat and had a meeting. Y'all set this up. Crying with no tears. There's no, remorse is the wrong word. There's no, like, you're supposed to be a grieving wife. What the world is saying is that your husband was assassinated. Okay, so let's just say that's the word we're going to use. You're a grieving wife and this is what you want? Did y'all watch this shit? I didn't. I watched TikToks about it. I couldn't watch it. I have a fake radar. Like, I could read fake from a mile away. I can't. Let me find out this bitch had something to do with it. I feel like I'm not going to sit here and say I feel like she has something to do with it, but it's very odd that less than 48 hours, you're all dolled up, smiling, laughing, talking to the people. That looks like a political setup to me. Like, she's setting her up. She's setting herself up to step into politics. That's just my take on it. Doesn't look like a grieving wife to me. That's just my take on it. It's a little weird.
What about Charlie Kirk's wife made y'all think she was going to get on that podium and be this soft, calm, loving woman? The amount of people that are surprised that she is not this gentle flower is kind of scary and it's very alarming, because common sense should tell you that if Charlie Kirk is a racist, a misogynist, and whatever other ist there is, the wife is following not too far behind. And that's what I'm cheering. They raising some little ist to be just like them. I just seen this woman's video and she said that she was shocked. Like, I was not expecting her to get up there and basically say what she said. I thought that we would get a thank you as like the taxpayers who pretty much paved the way for Charlie Kirk, who is not even into politics. Paved the way for him, your family to travel, paved the way for his funeral as well. I'm pretty sure we're gonna be paying for, well, y'all gonna be paying for that too. And I'm just like, why does that shock you? Like, and no shade to the lady, because she seems like a really nice lady, but ain't no way you think Charlie is gonna be with a woman who doesn't believe and stand for everything that he stands for. You know, like sometimes they'll have a man and he's this way, but his wife is like the nice, calm one. I already knew that's not the case. That's not the situation here. And them kids, they're gonna grow up to be just like them. So yeah.
Yeah, Bookie, the call is coming from inside the house, and whoever did the body did a good job. Now, Charlie Kirk's wife recently, well, she got the body, child, and she posted these images, I believe, of him getting a medal from the president. I'm not entirely sure the title of the medal, but baby, she'd have posted the body. And also other images of her kissing the body. I mean, we see this at funerals. This is nothing new. It's really what most widows and loved ones do to their loved ones, right? I think the internet was a little bit more alarmed that she posted it, like, because mostly funerals are pretty private. But after she had posted those images of his funeral, child, she then posted this message. You can pause to read it. I'm not going to read it. But she basically blaming everybody but the call coming from inside the house. Now, after she had made this post, she then took and did a speech, child. Let me play the speech.
The evildoers responsible for my husband's assassination have no idea what they have done. They killed Charlie because he preached a message of patriotism, faith, and of God's merciful love.
Girl.
But they should all know this. If you thought that my husband's mission was powerful before, you have no idea. You have no idea what you just have unleashed across this entire country.
Erica, please. Okay? We give you some grace because you lost your husband. But the fact that you keep saying they, them, and you guys, who was you guys? They found the assailant. It is this man right here. Girl, I don't know what power trip they done put you on, girl, but get off that ride immediately. And instead of coming for all of the internet for what your husband was saying, you need to download JPay and talk to the person who did it.
But here's where you're wrong. Charlie Kirk's wife does not have a chance, and here's why. Charlie Kirk's wife is now a widow to who Trump still gets labeled as a martyr. And whenever that happens, society now has passed the baton of Charlie Kirk's ideologies and expectations on from him to his wife and kids to carry on his legacy. She is now way more imprisoned by his ideologies and his rhetoric than she was when he was alive. She is locked in, can't do nothing can't do shit, because she now has to represent his following. She now has to continue on with his legacy for his following, and his following, not the best supporters to have as a following, not the safest supporters to have to deviate from the norm that they're used to. Charlie Kirk said that single mothers are less than, so guess who's gotta get married as soon? Mrs. Kirk. If she were to do anything different from what he has preached, that is hypocritical. That is defacing his legacy. That is just the worst thing she could do. So as far as chances go, she ain't got a damn none.
I'm sorry. Charlie Kirk's wife is terrifying. What the And first things first, what she said about her daughter was very sad. Anyone should find that sad. Her kids having to deal with that, the way all this went down is messed up. But also all your Charlie Kirk becoming a martyr concerns, all your retaliation concerns, all your this like emboldening the conservative Republican Party. She said, "You right, you ain't never lied. We about to turn up in this bitch." It was just scary. And it was also scary that a lot of what she was saying was, I want to say intimidation, but really she was just like, his legacy will live on through me, his kids. Like, she's going to do that. I'm just going to say the women that have stood behind men that do terrible things historically in America, and yes, I'm including slave history, can be especially terrible. The wives of slave owners, the wives of some of the most terrible men that you've heard about, can be especially terrible. So her looking into the camera like that and saying that she wants to uphold his legacy is a lot. It's a lot.
Am I the only one that thinks Erica Kirk's behavior right now makes sense? I watched the full speech and I've seen all of the social media posts, and right now I am only seeing criticism that this seems odd, it feels off, it looks a little weird, it looks rehearsed, it looks like marketing, it doesn't look like that of a grieving widow, okay? And I hear you. And I relate, because if that happened to my husband, I agree with all of the commenters that you wouldn't see me, right? You wouldn't see me for a while. I would be devastated. I would be shocked. I would not know how to handle myself, let alone get manicured, put on a full face of glam, give a speech, hold it together, giving that speech. I wouldn't be able to do that. But you have to remember that Charlie Kirk was a man of God, okay? And his wife is a woman of God. And they believe very, very deeply in that religion and their mission. Right now, she believes that her husband is with Jesus. She believes that she will see him again. She believes that he died doing the Lord's work. And she believes that her wifely duty right now and her godly duty is to carry on his mission. And I'm not saying that's not delusional, because I think it's a little delusional. But knowing what I know about them and stages of grief, it is a stage of grief that very much makes sense to me right now. Her behavior, I think, aligns perfectly with those initial stages of grief, like denial and anger. She is making a marketing production out of it, because that is what she feels called to do. Right or wrong, weird or not, we can argue about that. But it makes sense to me. That's the point. The behavior makes sense. Let me know what you think. If hearing my perspective changes your view on it at all, or if you still think like it feels off and there's a hidden agenda.
Your husband just got pew-pewed in the neck in front of you and your kids. And within 72 hours of his passing, you've already done a press conference. You're having people film you while you're kissing and caressing his corpse. I'm really not even trying to be funny. Is that not weird? It'd be my full life birthday and I don't even be taking pictures and videos of myself. You are standing in the room with his corpse. Has rigor mortis even set in? Is his amniotic fluid all the way in there? Like, and you're telling somebody to film this. And you're editing it and like posting it. And then it was like kind of like ASMR, like she was rubbing the fabric. The press conference, you wrote a speech, accepted it, got dressed, hair done, makeup. I'm sorry.
Who did the body? White people, if you're watching, us black people have an old Negro spiritual saying or question that we ask when we lose one of our own. Who got the body? Who got the body? Who did the body? Who's doing the body? Because it is very important when one of us passes away that they get our skin tone right. Oftentimes when one of us passes away, the makeup comes out gray. It just don't be right. So after we ask what happened to the person, how did this person pass away? Our next question is, who got the body? So I ask of you, my white friends, who in the hell did his body? Why are his hands orange? And I'm not trying to be insensitive to what happened or to the subject at hand. Clearly, she posted this shit being performative, so we might as well perform about it. There was no reason on God's green earth for us to have to see this other than she is sending a message and she is trying to enrage their following to do something in his name. And while we're here, let's talk about how she said that she told their children that daddy's at a business meeting with Jesus and they're picking blueberries or some shit like that. Yeah, so one day the kids are gonna be like, I don't want no fucking blueberries, I want my daddy back. So that was a bad idea. Secondly, it could have been a teachable moment because unfortunately death happens. None of us are promised to live forever. So it's a teachable moment to teach your children what heaven is if you're a Christian. Teach your kids about right and wrong, good and bad, and teach your kids if you put out bad in the universe, comes back to you tenfold.
So Erica Kirk just gave a speech about her late husband, Charlie Kirk. But let's be clear, this is not a grieving widow. This is the most dangerous kind of woman, the male-centered woman. She stood up there and she called Charlie the perfect husband, the perfect father, and she promised that his voice, his movement, his mission will live on through her. But what was his mission? Right, inciting hate against minorities, against immigrants, against black people, against queer people, against women, us. She is not just mourning, she is sanctifying a man who spent his entire career demonizing the very communities that he put at risk. She is taking his politics of cruelty and she is trying to baptize them in widow's grief so that they appear holy, untouchable, and righteous. And that is the male-centered trap. Women who build their entire identities around a man, no matter how harmful he is, and then become the mouthpiece for his legacy. It's the patriarchy's favorite tool because if she says it, suddenly it looks more soft, more emotional, more justified. But don't get it twisted, because Erica Kirk's battle cry of a widow is not about love or healing. It's about rallying people to continue her husband's hate. And that's why we have to call it what it is: dangerous.
Wait, Erica, did you just say that Charlie Kirk spread love and positivity into this world? Did you just actually get on national television and say that shit? I mean, the delusion is fucking diabolically mind-boggling. You can't... What? If that dude spread love and positivity, then what the fuck did John Lennon, MLK Jr. spread? Malcolm X, what did they spread? My God, I'm living in a place where delusion is running fucking wild. What the hell is wrong with...
Is that a threat?
Evildoers responsible for my husband's assassination have no idea what they have done.
Erica, who is they? You mean them? Your own clan?
You should all know this. If you thought that my husband's mission was powerful before, you have no idea. You have no idea what you just have unleashed across this entire country.
Let's wrap this up by the morning so you can stop being delusional and take your anger out towards them, not us, because we had nothing to do with this.
I'm here to say welcome to the spiritual war. If you're not aware of it, put on the armor, stand your post, you're a woman of the word, and when you feel isolated or unseen, go back to that blueprint. Ruth, Deborah, Hannah, Esther, Mother Mary, any of them. Go back to the blueprint. Fix your eyes on Christ, because this is not for the faint of hearts, this spiritual battle.
Okay, I want to show you this clip of Charlie Kirk's wife talking about, or her announcement or whatever.
If you thought that my husband's mission was powerful before, you have no idea. You have no idea what you just have unleashed across this entire country. In this world, you have no idea.
Now pause for a second. Let's take a step back. So that sounds like grief. It does. But listen to the energy. It's rallying energy. That's rallying, that's threatening, and that was meant to ignite division. This is not about left or right. This is about the frequency of us versus them. When you absorb words like this without discernment, it traps you in a negative thought form: anger, fear, retaliation. And that energy, it makes you hate your neighbor. It makes you hate people that don't agree with you. So not only does it make you hate your neighbor, it makes you believe that you have an enemy, when really, the real enemy is the system keeping us divided. Guys, this is how the Matrix works. They want us picking sides, feeding polarity, staying stuck in separation, because as long as we're fighting each other, we can't wake up to our collective power, okay? So please use discernment. Don't get hypnotized by the emotional charge of speeches like this. Division is the oldest control tactic in the book, okay? True awakening is seeing through this and choosing unity over polarity, even when it's wrapped in faith or patriotism. That's how we step out of their game.
Good evening. My name is Erica Kirk. Charlie Kirk is my husband. I first want to thank the local, state, and federal law enforcement who worked tirelessly to capture my husband's assassin so that he can be brought to justice. I want to thank the first responders who struggled heroically to save Charles's life, and the police who acted bravely to make sure that there were no other victims on that terrible afternoon. I want to thank the officers who have protected our Turning Point USA family these past 2 days. And I want to thank the Turning Point USA board, the COO, Justin Strife, and my husband's chief of staff, the amazing Mikey McCoy, for all their work in these terrible days to be the stability for our family and for the wider Turning Point USA family as well. My heart is with every one of my husband's employees who lost a friend and a mentor. I want to thank the staffers of his amazing Charlie Kirk show, who helped him broadcast from this studio, this chair. Every day he loved it. He loved what he did. I want to thank the millions of people who have shown their love for Charlie here in Phoenix, across America, and worldwide. I want to thank my husband's dear friend, Vice President Vance, and his phenomenal wife, Usha, for their love and support. You guys honored my husband so well bringing him home. You both are tremendous. I want to thank President Trump and his incredible family for the same. Mr. President, my husband loved you. And he knew that you loved him too. He did. Your friendship was amazing. You supported him so well, as did he for you. 2 days ago, my husband, Charlie, went to see the face of his Savior and his God. Charlie always said that when he was gone, he wanted to be remembered for his courage and for his faith. And one of the final conversations that he had on this earth, my husband witnessed for his Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Now and for all eternity, he will stand at his Savior's side, wearing the glorious crown of a martyr. Charlie loved life. He loved his life. He loved America. He loved nature, which helped him always bring him closer to God. He loved the Chicago Cubs. And my goodness, did he love the Oregon Ducks. He'd want me to say go Ducks, so I have to since they play on Saturday. So go Ducks. But most of all, Charlie loved his children. And he loved me with all of his heart. And I knew that. Every day I knew that. He made sure I knew that every day. Every day he would ask me, how can I serve you better? How can I be a better husband? How can I be a better father? Every day. Every day. He was such a good man. He still is a good man. He was the perfect father. He was the perfect husband. Charlie always believed that God's design for marriage and the family was absolutely amazing, and it is. It is, and it was the greatest joy of his life. And over, he would tell all these young people to come and find their future spouse, become wives and husbands and parents. And the reason why is because he wanted you all to experience what he had and still has. He wanted everyone to bring heaven into this earth through love and joy that comes from raising a family. It's beautiful. Charlie always said that if he ever ran for office, I know a lot of you asked if he ever was going to, but privately he told me if he ever did run for office that his top priority would be to revive the American family. That was his priority. One of Charlie's favorite Bible verses was Ephesians 5, verse 25. Husbands, love your wives as Christ loved the church and gave himself up for her. My husband laid down his life for me, for our nation, for our children. He showed the ultimate and true covenantal love. I will never, ever have the words to describe the loss that I feel in my heart. I honestly have no idea what any of this means. I know that God does, but I don't. But Charlie, baby, I know you do too. I know you do. So does our Lord. And our world is filled with evil. But our God, you guys, our God is so good. He's so incredibly good. And we know that for those who love God, all things work together for good. for those who are called according to his purpose. Already I have seen the worldwide outpouring of love for my husband. I've heard the testimonies from people my husband inspired to get married, to start families, to seek out a relationship with God. It's the most important one of all. The evildoers responsible for my husband's assassination have no idea what they have done. They killed Charlie because he preached a message of patriotism, faith, and of God's merciful love. But they should all know this. If you thought that my husband's mission was powerful before, you have no idea. You have no idea what you just have unleashed across this entire country and this world. You have no idea. You have no idea the fire that you have ignited within this wife. The cries of this widow will echo around the world like a battle cry. To everyone listening tonight across America, the movement my husband built will not die. It won't. I refuse to let that happen. It will not die. All of us will refuse to let that happen. No one will ever forget my husband's name, and I will make sure of it. It will become stronger, bolder, louder, and greater than ever. My husband's mission will not end, not even for a moment. And one of Charlie's greatest talents was his ability, this phenomenal ability to choose great people to follow him. He could always find the ones who could handle any setback. And it's almost like he knew. He could see it in you. Even when you couldn't see it in yourself, he just knew. He knew you could handle it. You thought you only had 5% left, and he knew you had 15. He knew you were ready to go that extra mile even when you didn't. He always challenged people around him to work harder and to be better. He never gave up. And I love knowing that one of his mottos was never surrender. So I want to tell you that we'll never surrender. We never will. Ever. Ever. Our campus tour this fall will continue. There will be even more tours in the years to come. America Fest here in Phoenix this December will go on. It will be greater than ever. The radio and podcast show that he was so proud of will go on. And in a world filled with chaos, doubt, and uncertainty, my husband's voice will remain. And it will ring out louder and more clearly than ever. And his wisdom will endure. My favorite too, but my husband's favorite word in the English language was earn. He would call all of you to be people of action who earn the future America deserves. So to all of the young people who felt inspired by my husband's faith and hard work, all of you already know what Charlie would want you to do. You know. You know. If you're in high school or if you're in college, go find your local Turning Point USA chapter. Join it. Stay involved. He wants you to make a difference. And you can. You can. The movement's not going anywhere, and it will only grow stronger when you join it. If there isn't a chapter, you can't find one, then start one. There is no excuse. You can start one. And as my husband used to say in this room, every single day, if you want to get involved, the best way you can do that is going to tpusa.com. That's what he would say every day from this chair. Every single day. I watched his show every day, and he would always say, if you want to get involved, go to tpusa.com. If you're a pastor, join our movement at TPUSA Faith. And if you're a parent, I highly recommend that you come to America Fest in December. Sign up right now for that because we would love to see you. I would love to see you. Charlie would. He'll be there. He'll be there in spirit. Bring your kids, bring your family. But most important of all, if you aren't a member of a church, I beg you to join one. A Bible-believing church. Our battle is not simply a political one. Above all, it is spiritual. It is spiritual. The spiritual warfare is palpable. Charlie loved his Savior with all of his heart, and he wanted every one of you to know him too. He wanted everyone to know that if they confess the Lord Jesus Christ who rose from the dead, then they will be saved. Hear me when I say this, nobody is ever too young to know the gospel. Nobody. Nobody is ever too young to get involved with saving this beautiful country, this country my husband loved and still loves. And nobody is ever too old either. There's no age limit. I know my husband is still here. He's watching over us. I don't remember the last time I slept. I couldn't sleep last night. And Charlie, baby. Charlie, I promise I will never let your legacy die, baby. I won't. I promise I'll make Turning Point USA the biggest thing that this nation has ever seen. I promise. Oh, Charlie, I love you. I love you, baby. Rest in the arms of our Lord as he blankets you with the words I know your heart always strived to hear. Well done, my good and faithful servant. When I got home last night, Gigi, our daughter, just ran into my arms. And I talked to her and she said, Mommy, I missed you. I said, I missed you too, baby. She goes, where's Daddy? What do you tell a 3-year-old? She's 3. I said, baby, Daddy loves you so much. Don't you worry. He's on a work trip with Jesus, so he can afford your blueberry budget. And my goodness, am I so humbled to witness Charlie, you alongside Jesus right now, doing what you always want to do, baby. Making heaven crowded, right? That's what it's all about. Making heaven crowded. I can't wait to see you again one day. Thank you all again who loved my husband, who supported him, who wrote him an email every single day during his radio show. He read all of them. All of them. God bless you all. And may God bless America.
Except for the fact that for the GOP, the happily ever after is cash.
But at a moment like this, I think you got to focus on the permanent things. That's what I call it. And that's the founding principles of the country and what makes us the great nation that we are.
Just cash. It's all about cash. It's terribly sad. It's disgusting. But this breaking story goes to show just how far they're going, unlike Melissa Hortman's family, to make money off of his death. Here is the story. Breaking news. Charlie Kirk widow's plea in MAGA fundraising cash drive. Erica Kirk's name has appeared on a series of fundraising efforts after the fatal shooting of Charlie Kirk. After vowing that her husband's mission will continue, the widow of Charlie Kirk has made a major fundraising push following the right-wing political activist's assassination. It comes as the reverberations to the shocking, fatal shooting of the 31-year-old MAGA firebrand on September 10 continue throughout the U.S. and around the world. Some American leaders, both Republicans and Democrats, have called for unity and an end to political violence in the wake of his tragic death in Utah last week. Others have used the assassination as a rallying cry. On Sunday, a blitz of fundraising texts went out under Erica Kirk's name for both the organization co-founded by Kirk, Turning Point USA, which organizes and trains young conservatives, as well as its political advocacy arm, Turning Point Action. In quotes, I refuse to let the moment Charlie built die. It will only grow stronger, bolder, louder. Read one text received just after 5 p.m. Eastern Time. The cries of this widow will echo around the world like a battle cry. And on X, take note of this, both the video and these remarks. The evildoers who took Charlie's life, they have no idea what they have done. If they thought my husband's mission was powerful before, they have no idea what they have just unleashed, all caps. It linked to a fundraising page for Turning Point Action, which included a video of Erica Kirk's tearful First Republic marks after her husband's death on Friday. The video appeared on a webpage under the line, in quotes, the cries of this widow will echo around the world like a battle cry. It also included a brief note written in her name. The evildoers who took Charlie's life, they have no idea what they've done, the page read. If they thought my husband's mission was powerful before, they have no idea what they have unleashed. In quotes, Charlie always said, never surrender. The movement my husband built will not die. It continued. The fundraising page also stated, if you refuse to let Charlie's vision die, join me in making Turning Point USA the biggest thing this nation has ever seen campaign and is signed by Erica Kirk with an image of the couple together. Donors can opt to give any amount, but the suggestion ranges from $25 to $100,000 with a one-time option or as a monthly subscription. However, the flurry of fundraising texts sent under the name of Kirk's widow did not stop there. Another reading quotes, "They lit a fire in this wife. I won't let Charlie's mission die, and my cries will echo around the world like a..."
Okay, so I'm going to show you something really, really strange about Erica Kirk's Wikipedia page. It has been nominated for deletion. No, well, the editing is protected, which makes sense, you know, as of recent reactions to the situation, but the editor has nominated this article for deletion. That's freaking disturbing. That's really disturbing. You want to know something even crazier? On the Brave browser, if you look up Erica Kirk, look what comes up. It doesn't say this right here for any other person who's alive. And even the people that are dead, it shows like a death date, but no person who's alive has their birth year with a dash next to it. I didn't think that was weird until I saw the Wikipedia page was marked for deletion. Someone's screwing with the stuff. These people are evil. We're in a war. I don't think this is a mistake because no one else it shows this on. You can back me up on that if you have the Brave browser.